So put yourself in a comfortable position. We're going to try to tone down our voice now here. Close your eyes, and you want to breathe, of course, into your solar plexus. That's into your belly, or yogic breathing, if you understand it in those terms. And in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do this a few times. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're doing that, let yourself sink deeper into the mattress, into your chair, into your yoga mat. It's on the out breath where when all the air is expelled from your lungs, take a moment and just sink. Let gravity take you. And just let whatever it is that is holding you up do all the work. If it's the floor, if it's your bed, if it's your chair, you put all of your weight into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do is relax. Begin at your feet. Put your conscious attention on your feet. Take a deep breath in and out, and let go any tension, any stress in your feet. If any muscles were clenched, just let them go. And now move your attention to your ankles. And breathe and let them go. And now your calves. Breathe in. Let them go. Relax. Completely let your calves go. Let go of any tension, any stress. Move to your knees. In breath and out through the mouth. And let go. Any stress, tension, any pain, any stiffness. Just breathe it out. Now move up to your quads, the front of your legs, your quadriceps. Take a nice deep breath in the nose and out through the mouth, and let go of your quads. Now move around to your hamstrings. Take a deep breath and out through the mouth and let them go. All tension, all stress. Just release all your muscles. No tension whatsoever. Now move your conscious attention to your glutes. If you're sitting on a chair, you'll probably be very aware of them, but even if you're lying down, we carry a lot of tension in our glutes, our gluteus maximus. We often, when we observe ourselves, we will often find ourselves clenching our muscles of our glutes. So take a nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose. And hold it a bit, and then out through the mouth, and really let those glutes go. Really relax them. Let them turn into two big, pudgy pillows, and let all the stiffness release out of those muscles. If you need to do a second breath, do so. Breathe as many times into that particular body part as is necessary, and then release it. Now put your attention on your hips, on your pelvic area. And with your attention in that area, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and let it go. Move up your torso to your solar plexus and around your back, your lower back. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe into your lower spine. And breathe out and relax and let all the vertebrae, let them expand the space between the vertebrae. Move your conscious awareness up to your chest. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax your pectoral muscles. Move your awareness to your back, your upper back, your deltoids, back of the shoulders, the upper spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Release all tension, all stress. Go to your upper arms, your biceps, your triceps, your shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it all go. Your elbows, your forearms. Breathe in and out. Now your hands, your wrists, the palms, the back of your hands, your fingers. Breathe in and out. Relax and let everything just collapse into your chair, your mattress, your yoga mat. Now, move your conscious awareness to your neck, to the vertebrae of your neck. Take a nice deep breath. And out. Let go your neck, let your head rest. And let the floor, or if you're balancing your head on your neck, let your head, the weight of it, completely be balanced and taken. Now focus on the muscles of your cheekbones, your jawbone, and the hinge of your jawbone. Deep breath in and relax. Let your jaw hang loose. Focus on your brow, your forehead, your temples, your eyeballs, the muscles behind your eyes. Breathe in and out. Release it all. Make sure that your jaw is still hanging. Everything is wanting to slip and slide off your skull. All the skin, all the muscles want to just slide off of your skull. They're so relaxed. Focus on your scalp, the top of the head, all the other muscles of your head, and at the back of the head where your skull meets your neck. Take a nice deep breath and out. Do a quick scan of your body and breathe normally, still in through your stomach, but do a quick scan and Find any remaining tension anywhere in your body. And take a deep breath and out. And release any remaining tension you can find anywhere in your body. Now we're going to continue breathing into our solar plexus, into our belly, in through the nose and out through the nose. Because we finished cleansing our body of stress, we've completed our relaxation exercise in preparation of meditation. We've completed the first step. Now, we are going to harmonize and optimize our vital body, our energy, our prana, our chi. And we're going to do this with the breath. There's many ways of doing pranayama, but we're going to share with you the one that we use in preparation for meditation. So as you did before, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, into your belly. Now hold it. Hold the breath at the top of your head and visualize a tongue of fire burning atop your head. Now slowly release the breath through the nose, slowly. And as you do so, see that fire go around the front of your forehead to the third eye, and then down into your heart until it lights your heart chakra. Now again, breathing in through the nose, you want to imagine a light coming from your coccyx, from the very bottom of your spine, from your tailbone. And as you breathe up, see that light go all the way to the top of your head. And as you hold your breath, visualize that light becoming fire, that tongue of fire, or a halo about your head. And then slowly release the breath through the nose. And that light, that fire goes around to your third eye, and then over your chest and down into your heart. Again, we're exhaling through the nose and inhaling through the nose. Another inhalation. And hold your breath. See the tongue of fire, the apostolic fire, top of the head. And slowly breathe out through the nose. See the fire go to your third eye and eventually down and around into your heart. We're going to continue breathing like this for a minute or two, just on your own time. You should have the gist of what we're doing by now. Now, as you continue doing this pranayama, don't forget the pause at the top of every breath. We want you to begin focusing, concentrating on what you are doing. So bring concentration to your third eye and really focus and concentrate on the in-breath, on the light that you're raising up the spinal column. Focus on the tongue of fire as you're holding your breath at the top of the head. and really concentrate, really focus on moving the fire down from the top of the head across the front of your forehead to the third eye, and then focus and concentrate on that light, that fire going down into your heart as you exhale slowly through the nose. Maintain this concentration, maintain this focus, and continue breathing and continue your visualization. You should especially feel it as you're moving the prana from the top of the head to your third eye. You should really feel the focus and concentration in your third eye as you do this. And then down into the heart. Take a few more breaths of pranayama, maintaining that focused concentration. Don't let that focused concentration go. Scan your body. Make sure you're remaining relaxed. Make sure that you're not tensing up your neck or your face or your fists or your toes or your glutes. Maintain complete relaxation. The only thing that even remotely resembles anything like tension is what you may be feeling in your third eye as you maintain your focused concentration. Now just switch to breathing normally through the nose, maintaining your concentration. Just focus on how the breath passes through your third eye, through this point of concentration. Focus on how the breath enters the nose and leaves the nose, and how in those nasal cavities you can feel the focused concentration. Now, beginning at the beginning of today or the beginning of yesterday, start scanning forward through the day to everything that happened to you, everything that you did, maintaining your concentration. See your day begin to play out for you as a series of vignettes, like a trailer of a movie, or better yet, like the beginning of a episodic television show that shows you the highlights from the last week's program. See your day playing out like that in your mind's eye, as if your day was last week's program and you're just getting caught up, getting recapped on what took place. And once you reach the end of your day or the present moment, depending on which day you chose, maintaining your concentration and relaxation, relax. Pick an episode, a circumstance from your day, an event from your day where you behaved, your actions were negative. You felt a negative emotion. You said some harsh words. You lost your temper. You felt afraid, or you were controlling. You were trying to control the situation or circumstances, or perhaps you felt out of control. You were not in control and you felt frustrated and angry. Whatever the case may be, perhaps you overindulged in an act of gluttony, some food or some sweet thing or salty thing or junk food, whatever the case may be. Pick one episode, one circumstance from your day. If you are observing yourself, you should have the material. You should be able to replay that circumstance, that episode from your day, that scene, that event. Maintaining your focus, concentration, and relaxation. You want to play it out in your mind's eye. Not in an abbreviated form, but in its fullness and its richness. Maintaining your relaxation. Maintaining your concentration. You don't want to feel what you felt. You don't want to relive the event. You want to observe the event. You are now looking at it with this focused concentration of your third eye. You are a forensic examiner returned to the scene of the crime, dispassionate, unattached, unidentified. Observe yourself like you would a character in a TV show. Observing yourself as a player on a stage or in a movie, going through the motions of this particular drama that you experienced. Now identify the egos that were at play. How did you feel? What were you thinking? What was the state of your physical body? Were you tense? Did you have your back up? Were you clenching your glutes? Were you clenching your fists? Were you chewing on your fingernails? If you don't have these details, that's because you weren't practicing self-observation well enough. Because our physical body reveals much to us about the state of our psyche, about whether or not we are stressed or in tension, if we are overexcited, if we are not at peace, if we are not calm. It is usually because some ego is having its way with us. Some ego is possessing us in some way. Our mind, our heart, and our body will often reflect this, which is why when we practice self-observation, we must observe all three brains: our emotional center, our mental center, and our motor, instinctive, sexual center. Because that is the evidence that we need now here in meditation as forensic examiners at the scene of a crime. We need to have that eyewitness testimony to be able to examine it. So how are you emotionally during this drama, this episode of your day? And how are you mentally? What was going through your mind? What thoughts were you thinking? Were you playing out fantasies in your mind? Were you thinking about the past? Thinking about the future? Regretting something that you did or dreading something that might be happening in the future? Was this causing you anger, anxiety? Was this the cause of your stress? Was this the cause of your drama? Or was the drama causing you, your mind, to wander into the past or into the future, neither of which exist? Who else was there? Was there anybody else there? What else was there? Where were you? What was happening? Was somebody saying something to you? Were they not saying something to you? Were they doing something? What were they doing? Or were they not doing something that you wanted them to do? And how did that make you feel? What were the egos behind all of these feelings that you are observing? This tension, this stress, the raised voice, the strained voice, the clenched muscles, the stress, anxiety, the fidgeting, the nail biting, the banging on the desk or the table, the slamming of the door, whatever it was, what was causing that? And if you think it was all just anger, anger very, very rarely works alone. We need a reason to be angry. Anger is very often just an attack dog for some other ego. So feel into the anger, look into it, look past it. Why were you angry? Why were you frustrated? Did something happen that you didn't want to happen? Or did something not happen which you expected to happen? So far, we've really only focused on the emotional and mental reactions to some circumstance. Now, observe the fallout. Observe what you said or what you did as a result of the reactions that those egos had to the circumstances around you, to the people around you, to the events. What did those egos cause you to do? What did they tempt you to do? And when and how did you follow through on those temptations? And how did you feel while you were acting on the will of your egos? As you were giving into those temptations, how did it feel? Was it satisfying to you to tell this person off? Did you enjoy getting angry? Did you enjoy yelling and screaming and slamming the door or pounding your fist? Observe what was going on in your mind and your heart and your body. But relax, relax. Remember always to check in with yourself. Do a breath like that, in through the nose, out through the mouth, whenever you need to do that. And recheck and re-release all the tension in your body, but maintain your focused concentration. But anytime you catch yourself tensing up, because you will, as you retrospect, as you perform this forensic examination on yourself, it's only natural that as you replay the events of dramas in your life, that the same tension, the same anxiety, the aggression and anger and stress that you felt in those moments, it's going to start creeping back up to you, into you. So you want to check and double check, and in through the nose, out through the mouth, and let it go and reset yourself without losing the concentration and without losing the visualization. Observe, witness, relax, concentrate, visualize. Recognize the egos that were involved. Now, what was the fallout of your actions? How did your actions affect others? What was the effect? What were the repercussions? What was the fallout? Do you regret what happened? Are you sorry for what happened? Now, maintaining your concentration and relaxation, we want you to move your conscious awareness away from the scene as though there was someone next to you who has been observing the scene with you the whole time. And this figure next to you is your innermost intimate being. You can visualize this being of yours as any deity that speaks to your heart. He could look like Jesus, like Buddha, like Krishna, Quetzalcoatl, Fuji, Odin, Zeus, and you can also take on the feminine form. It could be that your being is in the form of the Divine Mother. So she could be Athena, Venus, Lady Columbia, Zoroaster, any deity that speaks to your heart. Or it could simply be a resplendent being of light, a being of pure light. Relax. Visualize this being of pure light, this deity before you, your innermost intimate Christ, your innermost essence of God. Now, very relaxed and focused and concentrated and visualizing this being of light, we're going to say the words and pause after each line, allowing you to repeat them. Just mentally in your mind. You don't have to say them out loud. We will say them out loud for obvious reasons, but you can just repeat the lines in your head. We're actually getting ahead of ourselves. We've skipped a step. We looked at the clock here and we said we better move it along. So we're going to step back and say, you are going to step forward and allow this being of light who has been beside you this whole time, this deity in whatever form they are, in your mind's eye, they begin moving closer to you. And you begin moving closer to them. And in truth, it does not matter which one of you is moving or if you're both moving. But this is particularly powerful if you're visualizing a being of light. Allow your deity to glow in a resplendent halo of light as they move towards you, closer and closer. And now merge with your innermost intimate Christ on an out breath and allow them to enter into you. And their body is now one with your body. And you have fused, and now your whole being, your whole body is glowing with that same resplendent glow that was engulfing your innermost being. Now that's engulfing you because your innermost being is inside of you. And you are one. And together as one, you notice that behind your being, far in the distance, was a light, a sun, a star. And now that you are one with your being, that star grows bigger as it moves closer and closer. And you, one with your being, with that resplendent being of light, sharing your physical space with you. Now, this sun, this star, as it grows bigger, you notice there's a figure in it. And that sun, that star, is a crowning throne of resplendence. And sitting upon that throne is whatever image of God speaks to your soul. And this Holy of Holies, this Father of all fatherhood, sitting upon that throne, that within this enormous sphere of fire and light, the very heart, the seat of a star, seat of the sun, is now before you. And you, with your own innermost being within, relax. Stay relaxed. Focus, concentrate, and visualize whatever being represents God to you within that sphere of light, that star, that sun. And now we begin to pray. We will say the line and you can repeat it mentally. But when you repeat it mentally, remember that you are speaking not merely with your own voice, but visualize that your jaw, your mouth is shared, one with your innermost resplendent being of light, and that these words that you speak, your being is speaking them with you. And together, the two of you as one, you are not an I, you are a we. And so when you look to the great sun before you and the great God sitting upon the throne of resplendent light, as a multiplicity, as two beings as one, you can turn to that resplendent being of light sitting upon the throne, and we begin to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. 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 Relax. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maintain your focused concentration and visualization, remembering your innermost being and you are one. You just prayed together as one. This is why the Pater Noster, the Our Father, is first person plural. There is no I in the Our Father. There is no ego. It is a mortal vessel united with its innermost being that's beseeching Allux, the fire of fires, the light of lights, and the being of beings. Now, this is your opportunity to pray from your heart. Whatever words come to you, pray to Allux, to all light, God light, your Father sitting upon the throne of that sun, and pray together as we beseech you, we beg you, we come here humbly. Throw yourselves down to your knees, your collective knees that you share. Prostrate yourself before the being of beings and beg and plead for guidance and assistance to help you comprehend the egos that you had just been visualizing. Relax. Speak from your heart to God and ask for the revelation, for the insight. And thank and beseech Him for being present and for always being with us. Because in this moment you are we. You are not an I, you are a we. Now, typically, you could take this meditation in whatever direction your heart guided you to take it. If you wish, you can continue repeating the Our Father, or you can switch to the Hail Mary, and God can morph into the Divine Mother in the Son. You can pray and ask for insight, clarification, but you can also turn your attention back to the scene. Now that you're innermost being and you are one, you're not observing this anymore as two separate entities. You're now one together, and you beseeched Allux, the being of beings, to assist you. Now you can turn your attention back to your retrospection meditation and see the whole scene with fresh eyes, with the eye of your innermost, and with the help and the guidance of Allux. Relax, concentrate, visualize. Where were you? What were you doing? What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Where was the stress and tension in your body? What was happening around you? Who was there? Who was missing? What happened that you didn't want to happen? What didn't happen that you did want to happen? And what were the egos involved? And what was the primary ego involved? And observe how that ego was manipulating your thoughts, your emotions, your sensations, your actions, your reactions. And just observe with the focused concentration united with your being, with all the force and support of Allux in the background, shining upon you, shining its infinite light, a forensic spotlight upon the scene. Relax. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. You would continue here as long as possible, not expecting, not awaiting, not expecting, just replaying and beseeching and praying and being one with your innermost and continuing this retrospection until, in a flash of insight, you would receive a comprehension. You would just be playing the scenario out, and all of a sudden, bang, out of nowhere, you'll get this eureka moment. And suddenly you will know, you will comprehend that ego, that main ego that was at work in this drama, how it went about possessing you, how it went about causing you and the others around you suffering. And once you have that eureka moment, you have that few good men moment where Tom Cruise can't believe that the general, Jack Nicholson's character, has confessed. You have the evidence, you have the proof, you have proven your case. Now you can very gently, in your mind, silently, you can call upon Anubis and the Lords of Karma. You can allow that courtroom to materialize all around you that we talked about last week, and Anubis sitting on the judge's chair and the lords of karma sitting in the jury's box. And before that court, you can relax, visualize, and concentrate. Present your case, your comprehension that you've just received in meditation. Together, you and your innermost as one, present your case and say, this is how this ego caused us and others suffering. Put the ego in the defendant box. Prosecute it. Make your case against it. And allow Anubis and the lords of karma to render their judgment, a judgment of guilty. And once they have dropped the gavel and passed judgment upon the ego, now you can use the mantra Ramio, Ramio, silently, Ramio, 3 times. And call upon your Divine Mother, Lady Justice, to enter the courtroom, armed with her flaming sword. And as we described last week, you're going to fall to your knees and beg and plead with her, beg her forgiveness for your transgressions, and beg and plead her to eradicate, to eliminate this ego from you, to turn it to cosmic dust, to incinerate it in her fires of severity and mercy. And she does so by stabbing you first in the head, then in the heart, and then in the sex, or your spinal column. And each time, with either her flaming sword or her flaming spear, these sorts of details are not important, but it's her flaming sword of justice. She has to eradicate this ego that you have done the investigative work on, that you have found guilty. And she has to eradicate this ego from you and your innermost being. Because this ego is your being's. Your true self is the one who's in hell. So the mantra is Krim, K-R-I-M. You're going to be doing this mentally, and you're going to be rolling the R. We can't roll the R, so we can do our best to simulate that. But she stabs you in the head, and Krim. And as she does that, you feel the flames burning, searing, as if you were Paul Atreides with your hand in the box. And the way we do this, we ask our Divine Mother to stab us 3 times each, in the head, in the heart, and in the sex. So 9 times total, 3 times 3. That's the number of the Divine Mother, is 9. 9 is an upright 6. So when we are infested with egos in our mind, in our heart, in our body, we are a 666. We are inverted. We are a fallen human being, a 666. But our Divine Mother is here to turn us back into a 999, 1 away from a perfect 10. So again, 3 times in the head, it's Kareem, Kareem. Relax, concentrate, visualize, pray, beg and plead with all humility to your Divine Mother to now eradicate this demon, this ego from your heart with her flaming sword. Relax, concentrate, visualize, and pray. And as she stabs you, take a deep breath, and in your mind, just pronounce the mantra, Kareem. And she stabs you again in the heart. Kareem. And once more in the heart. Kareem. Relax. Take a deep breath. Now beg and plead your Divine Mother to stab you in the sex, where we are most often tempted through lust, through desire. And as she stabs us in our pelvic area, we feel the fire extend all the way up the spinal column, burning and searing and cleansing all of our chakras. This is the big one. This is the final one. This is the one that eradicates at long last this demon that we've comprehended and eliminates it and reduces it, disintegrates it, turns it to cosmic dust. Relax, take a deep breath. And she stabs us in the pelvic area and in the spinal column. We feel the fires all the way up and through our entire physical body, and we say the mantra Kareem. Another deep breath, relax. And again, Kareem. And one last time. Kareem. Relax. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now on our knees, beseeching our Divine Mother, Lady Justice, as she holds above us her flaming sword and her scales of justice. We bow our heads and mentally, together as one with our innermost being, we proclaim, Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, the Christ. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us of the sinning I, now and at the hour of the death of our egos. Amen. 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 Relax. You can maintain and pray as often as you want. You can do an entire rosary to your Divine Mother if you wish. But for our purposes, take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. But take a moment to check in with yourself and how you feel. Scan your body and feel the difference between where you were when you began, when we first began relaxation, and where you feel yourself now. And even we who are guiding you through this process, you can hear the difference in our voice. You can see the difference in our eyes. You can feel the difference. Now, Kundalini King made a comment here, and he says, this is going to be great clip for meditation later. The purposes of today's live stream and the purpose for walking you through this so-called guided meditation was to teach you the method, to teach you, to give you an example, to give you an experience of it. But it's really only effective if you actually do the middle part and actually get a comprehension. So you will not be using this all the time. You can use it as a training tool, as a teaching tool. But generally speaking, guided meditation is not true meditation. This will become a true and genuine meditation when you do it without the video, when you do it without the audio, when you do it without any guidance, when you guide yourself, or rather you are guided by yourself, the big S. That's when you will begin meditating. All those people listening to meditation CDs, they're not meditating. Yes, they're relaxing, they're visualizing, they're even praying, perhaps. Although we know of very few meditation CDs that involve the aspect of prayer. But they're not meditating. They're being guided. They're just being taken on a little journey. And despite the fact of how you feel now, just imagine how much greater the effect will be when you actually meditate, when you actually perform this on a regular basis. This is not the only form of meditation there is, by no means. I mean, we began explaining our 5-year-old naive child like approach to meditating before we even knew what meditation was. And it was just go deeper, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. But now, at the end of today's live stream, we've shared with you the highest form of meditation there is. There is no greater meditation than the one that eliminates egos. There is no meditation more important. There is no meditation practice more critical than the one in which we are working directly with our innermost being, the being of beings, and our divine mother, practically, experientially, doing the investigative work, the forensic analysis, and the just prosecution of the cause of our suffering and the cause of others' suffering, and the annihilation, the elimination of the causes of that suffering. Through, first and foremost, the comprehension, the revelation, the cathartic moment in the courtroom drama where the defendant breaks down and loses all defense, all pretext, all excuses, all rationalizations are gone, and all that is left is the admittance of guilt and the revelation in the courtroom and the judgment of Anubis and the lords of karma and the sentencing and the execution of that sentence by our Divine Mother, and ourselves and our innermost being at the heart orchestrating all of it, consciously relaxing, concentrating, visualizing, praying, and making this grand drama, this courtroom drama and forensic detective novel, this CSI spirituality, right? We should have a show called CSI Monad or CSI Gnosis or CSI Spirituality. We have CSI everything else. Why not a forensic detective show? That's really what the comic book graphic novel character Constantine was about. They made a film starring Keanu Reeves, and there's supposedly a new streaming show coming up based on Constantine, but that's what he is. He's a spiritual detective. And yes, he performs exorcisms and other things like that, but what he really is like a private eye for occultists and the metaphysical space. He goes after demons, and he investigates metaphysical crimes. And so it only makes sense that there be a metaphysical courtroom. And today you experience that. Now you know how to go about prosecuting a comprehended ego. And you will always have, so long as it doesn't get deleted from YouTube, you will have this as a resource, and we will cut this out as a separate video as well. So you won't have to go and watch all 4 hours of this, because we are going to create shorts from today's live stream as we've been doing. And today's meditation will be its own separate entity, including this follow-up explanation that we're giving about how you don't want to use this as a crutch. Use this as a pair of training wheels, only as a pair of training wheels. But just like any child learning to ride a bicycle, they can't wait for those training wheels to come off. So don't allow yourself to fall into the rut of watching this over and over and over again, and or relying on this as a guided meditation, because you won't be meditating. Because number one, you won't and shouldn't do that courtroom drama until you've had a comprehension. And you will know when you've had one. It's impossible to describe. The closest word we have is eureka, revelation, moment of clarity, a flash of insight in the dark of night. I mean, these are all just metaphors and flowery language to try to describe something that language can't describe. So when you have a comprehension, you will know it. And that's when you'll know to do the courtroom drama. Ask for Anubis and the Lords of Karma to come and preside, and ask for your Divine Mother to come in and execute the sentencing, and the execution.